And to the participants, you're welcome. I'm sure you're in for a great ride this morning. Thank you for NRM for putting this together. The chairman of the Board of Trustees, Shola Adesoye, and the President, Lutimi, and all the leadership. This is what we want to do. This is what we want to see done, so that we can have this kind of interaction and get people involved in the process of leadership selection and even creating accountability mechanisms, so that beyond what is happening here, you can also ask them tomorrow when one of them gets into the position to say, this is what you said on social day at social place. So let's fire. We're going to go this way. In the first round, I'm going to give each and every one of you 3 minutes to make your pitch. This is a debate. It's not just a discussion panel. So permit me to say that one of your aims should be to outdo one another. Basically, yes, because you're coming here to market your products. You know, as we say, in part of this country where I come from, this is a market. So you try to say, you can sell more than your neighbor. It is allowed, you know. So I'll start from you, sir, Dr. Obadiah Milaje. You have 3 minutes to tell us, in a nutshell, why do you want to be the president of Nigeria? Thank you, sir. You have the mic here.
Well, can I sit down or stand up?
You can sit, sir.
Okay, well, all protocols. Thank you so very much. I don't think I want to outdo anyone. And I don't think marketing is the right word for this exercise. I think self-presentation is the most important thing. I did not come into this business because I thought I was better than everyone else. I come here as your servant because for decades this country has been ruled by masters. Whether they're in military uniform or they were politicians. Today our country is at a juncture. It is very clear that we can no longer continue the way we are going, because from a pure systems point of view, no system can sustain the kind of overload that has been mounted upon it. Overload of broken promises, overload of kidnapping, overload of banditry. Today, Nigeria is the world capital of kidnapping. You think I'm making it up? Try going from here to Kaduna, just 200 kilometers, which is one of the worst routes on earth for kidnapping. Boko Haram, herdsmen militias, violence, rural banditry. This system can no longer do it. We are at the verge of collapse, and I'm on a rescue mission to provide leadership for a new Nigeria. I believe I have what it takes. I have the experience in development banking, in international, development work. I've worked in government. I understand what the issues are. What I'm going to do differently is that I'm going to put in the very heart of government a strategy group that will ensure that we implement all the policies that are needed to be implemented. Our program was rolled out a few weeks ago, and it is anchored on 4 P's. The first one is peace. Without peace and security, nothing can be done. We are going to tackle the insecurity in its symptoms, in all its ramifications, but we shall also tackle the root causes of this insecurity. We are going to reorganize the police system. We are going to reorganize the intelligence services. We are going to equip and retool the army and the armed forces Today they are being humiliated. Think of the number of soldiers killed in the last week alone. Such humiliation is unheard of in the history of our country. So I'm going to tackle insecurity. I'm going to ensure peace. My name, Milafia, means a man of peace. So I have no choice in the matter. 2, power. We are going to tackle headlong the power problem. I've studied it very carefully. One of the first executive orders I'm going to bring into pass on my first day on government is to decree and give an executive order that all public buildings must have solar panels on them. It will not solve the problem 100%, but it will reduce it by half. Think of a rural clinic or rural school where, you know, children can study with IT, or pregnant mothers can be solved, their problems solved. We will do that. We'll also tackle infrastructure deficit. I'm told my time is virtually up. The third one, of course, is prosperity. I will ensure prosperity. I'm an economist. I understand how best to go about this, and we shall make sure that.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We'll come to the details. We'll come to the details. Definitely, you have more time to elaborate on the plans that you have. So you've done 5 minutes, and in the interest of equity, I'll extend that to you, Mr. Buhari. Please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ahmed Buhari, and I remember on the 1st of October 2016, I made an open declaration that I'll be running for office of the president. And one of the first things people asked me at that time was, why do you want to become president? And I didn't mince words. I told them that I'm too relevant for my generation to hear that I existed without making an impact. And so all of this exercise that we're doing is not necessarily for our personal selves. And so when you said that we're here to outshine each other or go against each other with our superior arguments or discussions, I think it's more about seeing how we can have a common understanding of what we think can actually fix this country and work together to fix it. But you see, when we sit down like this in forums to discuss Nigeria, it's good. We kind of raise the awareness. We kind of get more people concerned about what we can possibly do to get us out of this quagmire. But this is the problem. We're just a very small fraction of the people that need to hear this message. Now, at this point, we're going to have a session that's going to last about 30-40 minutes. I don't know how long it's going to last. More than that. Okay, so we're going to be drilled. But in all honesty, you're going to hear what my big brother here, Toko Fasho, is going to say. You're going to hear what my uncle here, Mr. Obadi, is going to say. You're going to hear what I'm going to say, and they're all going to sound the same way. Probably just a different approach, but it's about the same thing. Now, what I want us to understand is, it's important and imperative for us at this point to come collectively as a people to not just hear this message here, but to find the best of ways to push this message to the people that we need to join forces with us to demand for accountability, transparency, efficiency, and good governance from elected officials. While we do that, the advocacy should also send a message to those people that anytime a politician puts his hand in his pockets to pay for a campaign process, he's not just giving you that money, but he's having a good plan on how he's going to recoup all of that money when he gets back into office. At an interest rate that only he can determine, and at a return on investment time that only he can determine. So more fundamentally, it's about how we can get the minds of the people dissociating itself from how the politics has always run. That is not to say we do not understand and know that there is hunger in the land, and so when you ask some of them to choose between their head and their stomach, they will choose their stomach. We need to separate them from this poverty of the mind, of the stomach, of the pocket, and what have you. So for us in the Army campaign, and as a running under the Sustainable National Party today, we have 5 things that we want to hold very dear to see how Nigeria can succeed. The first thing is to have a united country. And in trying to have a united country, it means that all of us here must look beyond all of those things that have divided us. Ethnicity, religion, social status, political party ideological affiliations, gender, even age brackets. We must understand that just because you are young doesn't mean you have good leadership to offer. Because you are old doesn't mean you have good leadership to offer. I've told many old people who tell me, you don't have experience. I tell them, the kind of experience required for good leadership does not have to be done through a political process. So, we also come to understand that experience is actually the biggest enemy of innovation. Because you say, I know it, so don't tell me anything new. The second thing we want is a secure country. The third thing we want is we have to decentralize the system. In trying to decentralize the system, unlike the way Mr. Salamai spoke about decentralizing institutions, I heard him clearly. He was talking about decentralizing institutions and decentralizing the government on state level, which means at a point, state government will start building their own constitution that can work for them. Fourthly, we must create an avenue where we can allow our people understand how we can leverage on our comparative economic advantages, which means you look at what the man is doing in Aba, in our area market, and you look at what the people in Kano are doing in Sharada, developing manufacturing leather, processing leather, and then people in the area market manufacturing leather, shoes, bags, and belts. Let's see how we can have these synergies. Lastly, if we do not have proper data management systems, we cannot know how to plan, we will not know how to forecast, and we cannot have the people that we want to govern. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Buhari. And then over to Mr. Pasqua. You have 5 minutes. Just give us your first speech.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, RMN, the team, the chairman of RMN, President, all members of the NEC, NWC, and ladies and gentlemen here seated. Well, I was here yesterday, so I thank you for this investment you have made in Nigeria and humanity to bring us together and also to put a lot of seriousness in this upcoming elections, which we also have joined with faith. My name is Tope Koladifash. I'm an economist, also a chartered accountant. I'm an ex-banker. I do a few other things by the side. I run a few SMEs as well. And well, the reason why I'm in front of you today, running for the presidency, for the office of the President of the Federal Republic, is because for so many years I've engaged with the problem of Nigeria. And I've always wondered about why we are the way we are. And, you know, I've also, over time, seen us decline as a people and lose our respect. I've been there a couple of times when, even when we fly business class and whatever, and first class out of this country to Europe, we get greeted at the door of the aircraft by dogs, sniffer dogs, who sniff both we and our children, whether you like dogs or not. They're looking for drugs. I've seen how Nigerians have become embarrassingly the biggest illegal immigrants in the world, perhaps, even in a situation where we're not at war times. Over 10,000 Nigerian women ran into Italy in 2016 for prostitution alone. Most of those were from Edo State. Over 10,000 Nigerians have been deported from Libya this year alone. 142 came in yesterday again. Why are we this stranded in a land of abundance? Paradoxically, also become a land of want because of mismanagement, because of a certain refusal to elevate our humanity to a point where we will understand that the good of all is the better goal for us to achieve. We've seen leaders get there and lose control. Sometimes they lose track and they forget why they are there. They think it's all about primitive acquisition. I've written over the years, I've been a columnist for about 16 years now. Every week I've been writing. I've written over 3,000 articles. I write so much on Facebook as well. And I put a lot of thought into every sector and every issue in this economy, in this social economy. I've written 6 books as well. And I figured out that no matter how we keep on writing and engaging on Facebook and Twitter, it's never going to work. Because those who get there, they have started to see the whole thing as a joke. I was in the Sasu show a couple of days back, and the city minister was telling us that the problem that they have, why they quarrel in leadership, is just the problem of sharing. Nigerian students were there. The message was lost on most of the people there. And of course, as he was speaking, he was castigating his former party, PDP. He was accusing Bolaji Abdullahi, who's castigating APC, now that it's in PDP. Dino Melaye was there, castigating APC, now that it's PDP, it's in PDP. I heard about how laws get made and sent to the presidency, and they never get actioned. They never get signed because they're just not interested. We heard about how laws are made, even the budget of the country is treated with levity, and how things are padded, and how they take care of themselves. Right there in the open, the three of them were arguing. However, in all of that, I was thinking about the Nigerian people. We are the Nigerian people. Who's going to save us? And we are talking here in a country where we're just coming out of recession, and the budget for next year is already messed up. They intend to reduce the budget. I've been on the streets demonstrating that this is not acceptable. Anyway, I believe that I'm one of the most qualified people running for this, and we're going to put in our best. I'm more interested in putting all our great ideas in space. My generation, and me, myself in particular, I actually stand up for a scenario where we're going to be running a government based on facts and figures, a government based on a sense of urgency, a government that is out here to bust the myths that we cannot achieve, which is running, for example, at a double-digit growth rate in this country. The United States in the 60s and 70s.
Thank you.
Just one second, sir. We're also running a government based on details and also a government based on strategy. And that is what I stand for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Consul. Right, you know, from the initial pictures you've made, I've picked up some very critical points or focus you share in common, and that's the issue of good governance. Never does as it is, you know, but you can reduce it to the issue of economic prosperity. I think that's a vision that is commonly shared. The issue of unity, you mentioned unity, you mentioned in Nigeria. The issue of peace. You say that of course that's tied to unity. But I want to come to the question of economy generally. But we're going to drill deeper on the economy. But just talking about economy at a macro framework, you know. So you had a very rich pedigree in development economics, and you know, and a career experience that has centered around economics and economic development. What is your economic blueprint for Nigeria? Looking at where we are right now and where we ought to be, what do you intend to do once you're sworn in as the president? What's the blueprint? Where would you take us to? What is your roadmap, economically speaking?
Thank you very much. With all humility, God has given me the opportunity to travel to over 100 countries. I was chief economist at the African Development Bank, where I traveled all over the continent, possibly with the exception of Madagascar. Then I was chief of staff of the African, Caribbean, and Pacific states, 179 countries. So I included the Caribbean, most of Europe, the Pacific Islands in my portfolio as well. So I'm a citizen of the world. I've traveled around. And nothing makes my heart bleed than to see the disconnect between the mass poverty we have today and our enormous potential as a country. So my priority is people and prosperity. People, because today Nigeria is the world capital of poverty. I want to fix the poverty problem by empowering particularly youth and women, because they are the majority. We need to empower them, build on SMEs, enhance skills, enhance business opportunities. I have a plan to generate $1 trillion economy within 7 years. Put in place a mechanism to do. We shall tackle the power situation. We shall tackle infrastructures, build world-class infrastructures as a precondition for development. In addition, we're going to diversify the economy. The current situation of dependence on oil for over 90% of our foreign earnings and over 50% of our government revenue is no longer sustainable. The age of oil is on its way. What I will do is to build a very strong team. I want to put the most powerful cabinet ever in the history of this country. And each minister will have a performance contract with clear and express gazetted targets. If you are not fulfilling your targets, you are out. That is what I'm going to do. And you contemplate.
Clap, anyone to clap, please.
And I'm going to have a plan to create an industrial revolution in this country. Sincerely, there's one country that I met a lot, and that is Germany. I've traveled all around Germany, and I have decided to benchmark Nigeria against Germany. South Africa is too small, Brazil is too small. I want to benchmark Nigeria against German standards in technology, in engineering, in infrastructures, and in the level of prosperity. I have a vision of Nigeria as a prosperous democracy, a country that has a strong union, a country at peace with itself and with its neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Buhari, please, can you tell us, in a nutshell, what's your blueprint for economic prosperity for Nigeria?
So thank you very much. So the thing here is, when we are asked about economic blueprints, we believe that we can actually just look at those areas that need attention, whether it be education, whether it be macro, micro, businesses, and what have you. The biggest problem here is that we don't have a people that have this nationalistic mentality to even make whatever you're trying to present to them work. So, before we can even move forward to start saying, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to benchmark Nigeria against places like Germany, that has a population like maybe 5 times smaller than ours, as the case may be, even though we're not sure how many we really are because no proper census has been taken. It's important for us to understand that we are running a country that all these plans may never see the light of day if we do not know how many people we are truly going to be catering for. I heard about infrastructure from my candidate here who said, I'm going to put world-class infrastructure. I've seen where government will go and say, oh, I love this beautiful fancy bridge in Finland. I want to reciprocate it here in Lagos. I want to see this bridge connect with Uelegba to Obanikoro. But that bridge in Finland is probably carrying just about 150 people in a day. If you put that bridge in Uelegba to Obanikoro, you're looking at about, who knows, 40,000 people. Before the first 6 months, it's already shaking because the strength and material of that bridge isn't up to the standard of people that live in that place. So, again, we're going back to the basics. We cannot really plan, we cannot really forecast if we do not know how many people we're going to be catering for. And in trying to do all of these things, my dear brother here has ever criticized me once and said, it's going to take a while for us to get all these proper data systems to the point where we can now start executing some of these economic plans that we have. But the truth of the matter is this. We already have the data. What we haven't done is synchronize this data. What we haven't done is say, give us the data that you have for the BPN. Telecom companies, give us the data that you have with yourself. What have you? Everybody bring your data. We synchronize the data and we start operating with numbers. Every single Nigerian has an identification that gets the doors open for him. So when you call me and say you're in trouble in whatever country you're in, it's the number that makes you identify that you're part of this country. And even worse of all, we have borders that are so porous that as we speak right now, there are people coming to this country in thousands with the intention never to return to their countries. We still cannot identify them after 1 month because they just fizzle into our system. So now tell me, how do you want to put a proper school in place or a proper health system in place when very clearly it's going to be occupied by people you never accounted for? You're sitting down here and you're telling me that I'm going to start putting in place free food for children in the next 2 years. Do you know how many children were given birth to in the first quarter of this year? Do you know how many people died in this country this year, to know how the civil service is going to be looking like in the next 1 year? We need these things. It has to be clear. If it is not clear, we're not moving anywhere. So when all of these things have a clear identity, clear direction, we start looking at some basic things. Like you say, diversifying the economy. We must diversify the economy. And when we diversify the economy, the one place that I think we should look into is agriculture. And when we talk about agriculture, we're not looking at agriculture on the surface level. We're looking at agriculture and how we can leverage on its entire value chain. So whether we're looking at it from the farm gate to the processing plant, and when we know how many we are, we know what we're storing and how well we push it into the market, then we're looking at how we package, we're looking at how we brand, we're looking at how we do the logistics. We must understand that each time the Minister of Agriculture tells us he has exported maybe 40,000 tons of yam. Excuse me, please. This is very important. This is our country. Let's talk about what you see. You say it's going to be more than 1 hour, right? We're here. And we'll still retire first. Now, listen. No, seriously. Whenever.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to say everything at once.
I'm going to get to my point, sir. I'm going to get to my point, sir. Each time the Minister of Agriculture says we're exporting 40,000 tons of yam, he needs to understand that when this yam goes to America, they don't consume it, they don't pound it as pounded yam. They take them to their laboratories. They extract content from these yams. You get what you get for the, you extract what you get for the pharmaceutical industry, you get what you get for the cosmetic industries, and they sell this things back to us. It's important for our government to understand that each time you export these things, you're not just exporting jobs. You're also exporting this commodities at their lowest value. So then we talk about security. We talk about also ensuring that we have a proper healthcare system, and then education. That is the only time you can actually start talking about an economy that can progress. Because if you don't have these people working together as a team, we cannot govern them.
Thank you very much. I'm moving over to you, Mr. Pastor. Can you give us, in specifics, measurable, what is your economic blueprint for Nigeria?
Well, thank you very much. I'll take you from 2-3 different levels. Well, from a macro level, at the level of the federal government or national government, like I said before, we should be growing at 15% minimum per annum. We're going to, like it is said, those who aim for the moon, sometimes you find yourself among the stars. We've been beaten down in mediocrity for too long, whereby we're growing at 1.5% today, when a matured economy as the US is growing at 4.1%. I went back and did the research and found out that in the 60s, 70s, the US economy was growing at 16, 18% in some years. And even the UK was growing at about 10%, 8% in the 70s and 80s. And I think that we can actually get this done all over again. We're thinking also of taking 50 million people out of poverty within the first 4 years, by actually reallocating resources and reprioritizing what we spend on to lift our people. I believe that the real challenge for us is at the local government level, because we seem to have shrunken our economy to the cities and the capitals alone. If you are the state government, if you are in your state, for example, you find out that people who are not connected to state house seem not to exist economically. And the same thing in Abuja here. And so we need to free up the local government, and we need to free up the energy and the productivity of people at the rural level. By doing this, I'm proposing an allocation formula which has not been changed since 1999, because that was when we actually stopped restructuring. However, like I said earlier, restructuring should be a continuous affair. And so we're looking at 25% of all national revenue going to the federal government, meaning that we intend to run a leaner government. 35% can go to the state, up from 26% where it is right now. But the local government should get 40% instead of the 20% which they get right now, but they don't actually get because the state governors are sitting on this money. However, I'm also proposing that the funds going to the local government, because it's going to be a lot of money, should be jointly managed by a committee of federal, state, and local government officials. Where you have to reach a consensus on that, and we can actually get this going because there's no time for waste. And in order to drive this, and I'll be done shortly, in order to drive this, I'll be looking at energizing our human capital. And my take on education is stated, it is different, it is unique. I said it here yesterday, I'll say it again. The next level of growth for this country and the final renaissance for this country is going to be driven by the youth of this country, especially at the university and polytechnic level and the colleges as well. Because they are dispersed all over the country, they are going to be helping us with what they call spatial diversification of the economy by opening up every area where universities and polytechnics are located. Civil engineering students should be able to get involved in little road construction and to begin to train themselves. Electrical engineering should help us to fix our electricity as well. Every course is useful, including history, sociology, and anthropology, in documenting ourselves as a people. And I think that in doing that, we're going to actually begin to go places. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. So we'll come to this round, and I'll give a double-barrel question to each and every one of you, and that will bring us closer to the end of the debate. I think it's commonly agreed among most Nigerians that one of the fundamental problems to the development of the nation, especially economic development, is power. And another one is security. So let me ask, maybe I'll start from you, Mr. Pai. Do you have any thoughts? Do you have any plans laid out on how to address the power problem and how to address the security problem?
Thank you very much. You see, the reason why we're still battling with power in 2018 is simply because the government still has its hands involved in power. The government has no business doing business. Government is supposed to be a regulatory body, ensuring that these businesses adhere to its strict value systems. And now that is why we are still struggling. I want to pass an executive order that will ensure that if you can produce power, you should be allowed to commercialize power. That is the only way we're going to get ourselves out of this. So if I'm able to find a formula that can produce power in my backyard, all the government needs to do is to ensure that I do it along the strict guidelines to ensure that I'm not hurting anybody or myself. Then if I can go further to say I've generated so much power, I have the capacity to now dissipate this power along my neighborhood, I should be allowed to do that. If I'm going to go further to say, dear neighbors, you people will have to be paying me 1,000 naira per day, 500 naira per day, or even 10 naira per day, it is up to me.
Just hold it.
Yes,
I'm just going to say, are you aware that we have such a framework within our current regulatory framework, the captive power generation system and then the embedded power?
It has been pegged at what it's really low. So most people who can generate that much, those people who have the capacity to generate it cannot go beyond the megawatts. Is it the megawatts? It's not even up to megawatt. So
yes, you can generate up to 2 megawatts without the license.
Without the license, but you can't commercialize that.
You can.
To who?
But anyway, go ahead.
No, you will tell me. If I say it's in the law, you tell me one place that it's being done.
I was going to ask you why it's not being done and whether you're going to look into why it's not being effectively done and what you're going to do about it.
Because I haven't seen where in the law it's been, strapped that will say to us that we can go ahead and, produce this power and actually commercialize it. That's where the problem is. And then we'll also have to, create atmosphere where investors can come in and say, you know what, we've got renewable energy, we've got solar energy, we've got other sources of energy. Many people have moved past hydropower. And so if this country is being categorized as a gas economy, as a gas country, what are we doing about it? How much gas can we store? Because again, gas, I'm a geologist by training, so gas is the most difficult thing to store. Because as it comes out from wherever you're drilling from the hydrocarbon, you are immediately going to be using it. And that is why, because we don't have the capacity, we keep flaring. Now we need to say, look, government has to open itself. And we want all the wealthy men around this region to come and say, this is a business we can do. This is how much you can get it. We don't have any business inside it. We're only going to tax you people. When more people are able to run their power systems in their own individual corners, what is going to happen eventually is that the businesses that run under the power that they get from those people would help them successfully run their businesses and have no problem paying tax. Why we evade tax, why we are reluctant to pay taxes, not because we don't want to, it's because we have used that money to pay for power. So government must remove itself from these things. We don't have any business in it.
Thank you very much. Yes, your solution focuses essentially on decentralization of the power sector, both in terms of generation and distribution. Thank you.
Of everything, really.
Okay. Of everything. In the power sector, or just of everything in Nigeria?
In the power sector, in the security sector, in
the
economy, everything has got to be broken down. The center is holding too much, and that's why everything seems to be falling apart.
Oh, great. That's fine. That's well taken. Mr. Pastor, I'll come to you again. So what do you think needs to be done? Power sector, security management.
Thank you very much. For power sector, well, I think one thing that Nigeria's problem is telling us right now is that now is the time for us to do it ourselves, DIY. The first university in this country was opened in 70 years ago, exactly, University of Ibadan. But as we're speaking today, we have no capability to produce anything on our own. I mean, to produce the machine that produces something, no matter how little. And so we've come to that epoch now where we can no longer continue to import our development. Imported development is as best like a day out at the amusement park. You're going to enjoy it for as long as it lasts, and then it breaks down and you can't replicate it. It's like being on drugs. You need a fix. And so we have to take ourselves off this chunky economics that we've been doing here. So electricity is no longer as complicated as before. One of the things I propose is actually that, again, our students of electrical engineering, electrical electronics, should be the ones powering Nigeria from the village up. If you're at University of Ife, they should tell you, go to the village near you, as a group, 2020. It's going to be part of your semester work. You're going to be graded on it. However, I also propose that the students of this country be paid a certain token for that work, to encourage them and to get them serious and to get them to be involved and to put money in their pocket. At least 50,000 naira should be given to them every semester for that work. And that is how we're going to solve this problem. Because all of this idea of importing power plants will never work. Even you like it. So government can then focus on what do we do with industries, with the bigger generating plants and all of that, the arrangement. I actually don't believe in, however, unlike my friend Ahmed here, that we need to totally deregulate everything. Regulation is still important. As we're speaking, government is holding on to transmission.
I didn't say deregulate, I said decentralize.
Okay, decentralized. Yes. All right. So basically, government is holding on to transmission. However, the transmission grid is broken. So we have to move ahead of that. But what we're saying is that we have to solve this problem ourselves. It's doable. In California in the year 2001, they made a mistake of actually totally deregulating. And then they took that Enron had the total control. And it was a big, big mess. And that cost Governor Gray Davis his share. And that in came in Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was how it came in. Now, just 1 second to go. Let me also say that electricity is already very expensive in Nigeria because we're paying for inefficiencies. If you went on Premium Times website right now, I just published an article which says electricity is already very expensive in this country. In the house where I stay, a 4-bedroom house, I'm paying about $130, which is about 40,000 naira per month. I did a survey, and a lot of my friends who stay in the UK, the US, they actually pay a lot less than that. So already, nobody should, the private sector mentality of we want to get involved in everything and produce at any price and let people buy at any price, we are going to move against that because we can't throw our people under the bus. Then in terms of security, again, the real issue of security is job creation. And the fact that if you don't create jobs and find something for your youth to do, the devil will put a job in their hand. We're here, Dr. Mandi talked about his cousin,
who was disappointed in the mentorship program that they do, and actually turned out to be an armed robber and is now dead. Because we're not anchoring the energy of our youth. Even in Borno, in the northeast, it was the civilian JTF that actually helped to reduce the problem of the Boko Haram, but we can see what they did recently. So, to a large extent, security is about, number one, intelligence, and also being able, as a CEO, to take very firm decisions, all right, to be able to move your security teams around at a whim, if you like, and also to be able to get your youth employed so that internal security issues will be reduced. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Pastor. Dr. Melafia, I'll come back to you. You already gave us a step of what your plan for the power sector would be. Can you elaborate further on that and then go over to the security sector, what your plans are for the security sector? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Here are a few facts that will shock you. About 100 million Nigerians have access to zero electricity. About 100 million. That's number one. From 1999 to date, what we have spent in total on the power sector is approximately $30 billion. And yet, we are still hovering around between 5,000 and 7,000 megawatts. And there was a
generation capacity.